Another one in the history books of Philippine motorsports. This is your true nationwide championship series.
All right, good afternoon everybody and welcome to your Motul Grand Prix of Cebu. Jongo here and welcome to your Motul Super Series Nationwide Championships. And we are here in Cebu. Parang kailan lang po, nagpanglaw po kami and now we are here and good afternoon everybody. Here we go. So this is the opening race. This is the Super Underbone 155 Limited Novice category. There we go. So we are looking at 6 riders on the track right here. So this is the opening stages. Good afternoon, everybody. And welcome to Super Series And of course, it's a 8-leg series championships happening in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And of course, aside from that, it's also the second to the last round of our Visayas Mindanao championships right there. And of course, we are scheduled for 10 laps of racing right here. Here we go. Fons Bora is on the pole position. RV Balboa, Champ Ventura, John Tonido, Wenward Sena, and Jonalyn Cajefe. Here we go. Oh, Fons Borja wasn't able to quickly get into that one right there. Now, I think that's RV Balboa making a move right here in the opening stages of this race. There we go. RV Balboa is on the lead. Fons Borja following suit. Oh, is that Fons Borja? Yes, that is Fons Borja right here. So let's see if Fons Borja will be able to catch up right here. He was quick on the kart zone track right here. There we go. It was a nice time trial right there for Fons Borja. There we go. That is the gap right there, 0.2. Let's see, Fons Borja, that is kind of very close right here. Let's see if Fons Borja will be able to make a move right here. Here we go, Fons Borja, looking good. And now, Chaim Ventura, kind of far away, 1.750 is the gap right there from Chaim Ventura and Fons Borja. But this time right here, it increased a little bit. RV Balboa has increased a little bit, so let's see. We have to check on that one right there. But so far, so good right here for Fons Borja and RV Balboa. This is the opening stages of the race. And of course, brought to you by Motul. Motul by Infiniteserv. Thank you so much, Motul by Infiniteserv. And this is a tough one right here for Fons Borja, who started on pole. Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Tell us, where are you watching from? I hope you're doing well today. There you go. That is a battle for first right here. Fons Borja, who started on pole but wasn't able to get a good start. But we have to check if there is a jump start right here. Let's see. Here we go. Fons Borja. Now we are on lap number 4. There we go. Fons Borja making a move right here. Tingnan natin if he'll be able to kind of adjust. There we go. Look at the line of Fons Borja. Will he be able to make a move right here? Tingnan natin. That is lap number 5 right here. Anything can happen right now. Fons Borja looking good, looking strong. Let's see if he'll be able to move on the outside. That is a tight one right there. Let's see. Here we go. They are approaching this tight hairpin right here. Oh, Fons Borja, there was a contact. Nothing there. Bakit kaya yun? Let's see. Nothing there. But here we go. He was trying on the inside. And the rest of the pack right here. There we go. So, Chaim Ventura. There we go. 0611. Fons Borja a while ago. Medyo... Oh, there's a backmarker. Let's see. Nothing there. Almost. I think hindi na-capitalize yun. But of course, there's a blue flag being waved right here. So, Fons Borja, let's see if he'll be able to make a move. But he is running out of laps. Si Fons... running out of laps right here. He is quick on the stretch going into that one right there. So let's see if Fons Borja will be able to make a move on the outside. Let's see if he'll be able to. 3 laps to go in this race. Here we go. On the outside, Fons Borja. Let's see if he'll be able to. On side by side right here, nothing there. Medyo maaga siya nag-break. Wow. with 2 laps to go in this race. Anything can happen, but Fons Borja seems to be having a hard time taking on this one right here. But let's see on the rest of the pack. There we go. That is Caim Ventura, Tonido, Wenward Sena, and that is Jonalyn Cajefe. Here we go. Fons Borja right here. This is the last lap of Fons Borja. Now for the checkered flag right here. Tingnan natin if Fons will be able to make a move right here. Welcome everybody. We're glad for you to join us this afternoon. Very hot Sunday afternoon right here in Cebu. So, yun. Here we go. Fons Borja for the checkered flag. Now, that is RV Balboa winning this one right here from CRA Sec Motor Supply. There you go. Wow, what a race for RV Balboa. Here we go. Now to check on the results right here. There we go. Fons Borja, Caim Ventura. So, John Tonido. So, it was a good one right there for RV Balboa. We have to check on this one right here. So I think we are on a review right here to check on if there is a jump start right there. But of course, we all know that si Fons Borja hindi talaga nakahabol. But let's see. There we go. This is the unofficial result right here. So, RVJ Balboa. They're still reviewing this one right here. So, we have to check on that. Okay, so there we go. So it's confirmed that RV Balboa is the winning rider right here. Here we go. That is the race winner, RV Balboa of CRA Sec Motor Supply, winning this one right here after checking. All right. There we go. This is the unofficial result. Of course, there we go. Winning this one right here is RV Balboa of CRA Sec Motor Supply. Congratulations from Fritzy Claveria. Congratulations, Fritzy. First win of the day. There you go. This is all right. So congratulations right there for RV Balboa. There you go. And of course, congratulations as well to Fritzy Claveria and the team. And of course, we will be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. This is now the Scooter 160 Open. This is Giancarlo Comendador on front, Kent Basalo in second, Brian Cañete in third, and Jens Saceda in fourth. We are scheduled for 8 laps of racing right here. Here we go. You are watching the Motul Super Series Nationwide Championships here in Kart Zone Cebu. This is round number 5 of your Nationwide Championship Series. Here we go. A good one right there by Giancarlo Comendador. Let's see. There we go. Shutting the door. Giancarlo Comendador, one of the top riders here in Cebu. And of course, here we go. I think this is Brian Cañete. So Giancarlo Comendador and Brian Cañete, these two teammates, we have to check on that one right there. These two early on in this race, dicing together right here. Here we go. It's start-finish line. Who is which is which? There we go. So Kent Basalo was able to grab that one from Giancarlo Comendador. So Kent Basalo also clocking in the fastest right here. There we go. 35.058. Hindi natin napansin yun kasi medyo ang bilis. At magkagaya po sila ng racing suit. So this is teammates and teammates right here. So there we go. Kent Basalo and Giancarlo Comendador. So I'm not quite sure. So Giancarlo Comendador right here has taken on. Look at that, 0.19. Grabe, naglalaro lang itong dalawa dito. So both of them are Honda Project M Estremo, Kent Basalo. So Giancarlo Comendador is from Yamaha NCX Saceda and Brian Cañete. So Here we go. So Kent Basalo and Giancarlo Comendador is battling for position right here. So Kent Basalo started on second. So yeah, medyo malayo-layo yung more than 2 seconds. Let's say the gap in the qualifying. But let's say, oh, there's a smoke on that bike. Oh, look at that. Si Giancarlo Comendador humahanap ng tiyempo. There we go. This is it. I think. There we go. A 0.020 Giancarlo Comendador right here. So, nice one right there for Kent Basalo a while ago. So, Kent Basalo. So, let's see the rest of the pack right here. There we go. So, that is the battle for Brian Cañete and Jens Aceda. So, yan po yung kanina. So, you are watching the Motul Super Series Nationwide Championships. The battle for first right here with 3 laps to go in this race as Giancarlo Comendador already on top. But Kent Basalo grabbed that one again, once again. So, changes right here. So, medyo I think that was the first lead change that we saw right here. So let's see if Giancarlo Comendador will be able to maneuver right here. Oh, another lead change na naman. So Kent Basalo na naman right here. Here we go. So magkilala ba to sila? These two riders are friends? Yeah, all right. So they're talking while they are competing. So this is one of those few moments in racing where the competitor is talking to another competitor. Though, of course, we all know that these two guys are really friends here outside of the track. So here we go. Kent Basalo still leading this one with a 0.061 right here. And here we go. This is already the last lap of the race. There we go. That is the gap right here. Will Kent Basalo get this one? Kent Basalo right here. Here we go for the checkered flag. Who's going to take this lead right here? Oh, win right here. That's Giancarlo Comendador winning this one right here. And of course, Kent Basalo slide down to second. So, yeah. So, there we go. Now, checking on the classification right here after 8 laps of racing. So, Giancarlo Comendador winning this one with a multiple lead change, and Kent Basalo with a 0.146. Gap Brian Cañete in third, and Jens Aceda fourth. All right, Giancarlo Comendador taking this one right here. Congratulations, Giancarlo Comendador, top racer here in Cebu, of course. And a bright future for the skid right here. And of course, first win of the day for Giancarlo Comendador. There we go. And the classification unofficial result right here. Congratulations to Giancarlo Comendador. There we go. We will be right back. right, welcome back, everybody. This is your Super Underbone 155 Limited SP category. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to your Motul Super Series. And of course, on pole is J.M. Malonzo, Ran Bergaya coming in second, Fons Borja coming in third, of course, R.V. Balboa coming in fourth, and Kent Basalo in fifth. We are scheduled for 8 laps of racing. Here we go. Tell your friends about it. Tell your friends we are racing right here at Kart Zone Cebu. If you could join us, if you are here from Cebu, and if you're just around the area, but if not, here on live, check it out, tell your friends about it, share it to all your friends. This is your Motul Grand Prix of Cebu. There we go. Warm-up sessions right here. And of course, we have 8 racers or 8 categories today. There we go. So, talking about J.M. Alonso, we all know that he really indeed dominated the Panglao race. So, this is going to be the last Visayas Mindanao race of Dad's Garage. So, it's going to be very interesting because as J.M. Alonso, though, dominated that one right there, and we'll see if he'll be able to dominate this one once again right here. So we are scheduled for 8 laps of racing right here. This is your Motul Grand Prix of Cebu. Good afternoon, everybody. Tell us, where are you watching from? Here we go. 8 laps of racing. Malonzo, Berganya, Borja, who will take first corner right here. Here we go. A good one right there by J.M. Alonso. Fons Borja squeezing on the inside. Nothing there as Rad Berganya was able to grab second position right there. So no changes from here on. Here we go. This is the opening stages of your Super Underbone 1.5 Limited GP. As J.M. Malonzo, there is a jump start. Kent Basalo, that is rider number 86 right here. We have to check on that one later right now. But so far, so good right here for J.M. Malonzo, breaking away from Rand Berganya. Classification right here. There we go. That is a 0.709. Rand Berganya looking good, looking strong right here. No one's bothering him. But Fons Borja, that is a 0.707 gap right there. Let's see if Fons will be able to get in niche closer to Rand Berganya as we are now going 1 lap down in this race. And look at that. That's Garage J.M. Alonso, fastest lap of the race so far with a 30.646. There we go. That is J.M. Alonso. Gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, we are yet to check if this kid will be able to, duplicate his outing on last race. And there is a back marker, and look at that. That is his pace right here. J.M. Alonso. Rand Berganya, oh, look at the gap. The gap has increased right here. So that is a 1.665. He is breaking away, but let's see. Fons Borja, he's holding on to this one. But don't look now. R.V. Balboa, yung kalaban niya kanina na tinalo siya, despite he is on pole. There we go. The nemesis of Fons Borja, R.V. Balboa. We all know that a while ago, in the previous race, Fons Borja was on pole, but R.V. Balboa was the one who grabbed the win right there in the opening stages of the race. But let's see. But so far right here, there we go. J.M. Alonso looking good, looking strong with a 2.070 gap right there. And Rand Berganya, wala pong nagbabother sa kanya except for Fons Borja. Though Fons Borja right now, medyo he is in pressure right here from R.V. Balboa. But of course, all you have to do is just defend your line right there. So it really we'll see on what he's going to do. Will he defend or will he attack? So those are the challenges for Fons Borja. There we go. That's Fons Borja right there. Although he's closing in right here on Ran Berganya. Tignan natin. But so far, so good for J.M. Alonso. Duplicating what he, duplicating his performance right there. 6 laps with 2 laps to go in this race. There you go. No lead changes right now. But so far, Ran Berganya is 2.729 far away from J.M. Alonso. J.M. Alonso is looking good right here. But Fons Borja is closing in on, wow, Ran Berganya. Tingnan natin. There we go. That is the battle for second. Fons Borja making waves right here. Last lap of the race. So, depending ngayon as J.M. Alonso navigating through the different back markers right here. So, there we go. That is Ran Berganya right there in battle for second. Fons Borja and Arvin Balboa. So, tricky po itong larong laban na ito. So, tingnan natin if they'll be able to... Oh, what happened right there? Fons Borja. Slide right there for Fons Borja. Arvin Balboa was able to grab that one. Now, winning this one right here is J.M. Alonso. Taking on second, that is Ran Berganya. Following third, that's RV Balboa. Wow! Naubusan po tayo ng ano dun. There we go. And of course, showing you the unofficial result right here. J.M. Alonso, look at that. Grabe ang ginawa. 3.658 gap right there from Ran Berganya. Ran Berganya, we see him. He was so quick as well, especially on the time trials. But right here, J.M. Alonso showed that he is very determined to duplicate his outing in the last Panglao GP. Arvin Balboa was able to grab that one right there from Fons Borja. So, Fons Borja, medyo hindi pa pinapalad sa ngayon, but we'll see later. He has lots of races to go right there. So, congratulations to Dad's Garage. And of course, J.M. Alonso showing his, resiliency right here. His outing in the previous race at Panglao GP. So, pinapakita niya ngayon na he is really very determined to get this one right here. Top SP rider so far. And of course, on the top team, that is Dad's Garage. All right, so stand by. We will be right back. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. This is the Super Underbone 155 Limited GP, and of course, we have a intermediate as well in this category. And of course, this is the cream of the crop for your Motul Super Series Nationwide Championships. Here we go. On pole, that is Masato Fernando. Coming in second right here, that is Kerwin Chang. Efraim Unaon coming in third. Mario Bourbon Jr. coming in fourth. Here we go. And of course, we are on board Masato Fernando right here. So Masato Fernando is on pole. Mario Bourbon in fourth. Coming in fifth is Giancarlo Comendador. And of course, Fernando Cortez at the third in sixth. And on seventh, that is Chaim Ventura. All right, so there we go. We are scheduled for 10 laps of racing right here. Here we go. So, this is it. This is the cream of the crop. This is the first battle of your super category. Here we go. Who will take first corner? Who'll shot right here? Will it be Masato, Kerwin Chang, or Efraim Hunahon? Here we go. A good one right there by Masato Fernando. Oh, look at that. Kerwin Chang was able to grab that one right there. Let's see right here. Wow, Masato Fernando went down right there. This is the opening stages. Tumama po si Masato Fernando doon sa ano. So we have to check on that one right now. So Kerwin Chang, let's see. This is the opening stages of that one right there. Here we go. Here we go. So this is the opening stages as Unahon is on the lead right here. Kerwin Chang slide down to second. There we go. Fastest lap right here is Efraim Unahon as Masato Fernando is trying to catch up. There we go. We are on board Masato Fernando right here he's trying to catch up right here. There we go. This is Kerwin Chang as Masato Fernando Unahon with a 1.121 gap right there. Efraim Unahon leading this race. There we go. That is the gap. You can see the gap right there. That is 1.121. So let's see. Tingnan natin if he will be able to put this a little bit lower right here. There we go. No love lost between the two. Kerwin Chang and Masato Fernando, or Kerwin Chang and Efraim Unahon. There we go. That is side by side. These two riders are really at it right now. Kerwin Chang, Efraim Unahon with a 0-2. 2-3. Look at that. Kerwin Chang was able to grab that one on the inside. What a move by Kerwin Chang. Nice maneuver right there by Kerwin Chang right here. There we go. Now look at the gap right here with a 0.370 gap right there. Now we're going to look at the rest of the pack. There we go. That's Mario Bourbon, Giancarlo Comendador, and of course Fernando Cortesa, Masato Fernando. There we go. Masato Fernando is medyo malayo-layo pa siya. He's currently on 6th right here. So there you go. No one's bothering him, I think. Walang sumusunod sa kanya. So we'll see. But so far, the battle right here for these two riders, Kerwin Chang and Efraim Unahon. There we go. Wow. No love lost between these two right here. Zero 0537. That is the gap right there. Unahon and Chang. Mario Borbon is on third. Oh, Unahon making a move right here. Unahon nagpapakita. He knows the racetrack, although he is not from here. But Kerwin Chang is doing a good job right here. So we're going to be on top of this one right here. Masato Fernando is now on fifth. He is really climbing up right here. Masato Fernando is on fifth. There we go. He just crossed the start-finish line right there. Here we go. Efraim Unahon now looking the gap. That is 0522. There we go with 2 laps to go in this race. 2 laps to go in this race. With 2 laps to go, so far, Kerwin Xiang is really dominating right here. Let's see if Masato Fernando or Efraim Unahon will be able to make a move right here with a 0587 gap right there. This is the battle of the top rider in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. There we go. That is that gap right there. And of course, tingnan natin kung paano ba to the rest of the pack, Mario Borbon, and of course, Masato Fernando right there. Checkered flag right here for Kerwin Chang. Wow. Efraim Unahon wins this one right here. There we go. So Kerwin Chang winning this one right here, giving you the classification right now. Kerwin Chang winning this one with Efraim Unahon, 2.887. That is the gap. So biglang lumaki doon sa last lap yan. Biglang lumaki. Mario Borbon with a 4.217. And that is the rest of the pack. Giancarlo Comendador, Masato Fernando, and Chaim Ventura and Fernando Cortesa. There we go. Kerwin Chang winning this one right here. Congratulations to Kerwin Chang. And of course, we're also going to award the intermediate right here. Of course, this is Giancarlo Comendador winning the intermediate category. There you go. That was a mixed grid right there. Congratulations. Second win for Giancarlo Comendador. There we go. Having a hard time with the checkered flag. Yeah, all the simplest stuff. There you go. All right, we will be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. This is your Super Scooter 125 Limited SP. And of course, andyan po ulit si JM Alonso. So let's see, gaya na po na sinabi natin last time, we really hope that JM Alonso will be showing, his outing last Panglao race. So here we go. We'll see. Tingnan natin. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to your Motul Grand Prix of Cebu. There we go. This is the warm-up session. So coming in on pole, that is J.M. Alonso, followed by Joseph Cabahog, followed by Rand Berganya, Wenward Sena, David Chan, Jens Saceda, Kent Basalo, and Francis Castañeda. There you go. Good afternoon, everybody. Kumusta po sila? Tell us where you're watching from. Yep. All right, we are scheduled for 10 laps of racing. Here we go. Who will take first corner? JM Cabahog. Oh, good one right there by JM. Shutting the door right there. JM Alonso. Oh, look at that. Joseph Cabahog on the inside. Will he be able to complete that one right there? Yes, he did. But J.M. Alonso was able to grab it back again. Oh, J.M. Alonso slide down. Wow, ang layo ng... Ayun, J.M. Alonso squeezing on the inside. There we go. We have to check on this first rider. I think that is Joseph Cabahog. We will check right now. There we go. This is the opening stages of this race. As that is Cabahog, Berganya, Wenward Sena, Malonzo, as Joseph Cabahog suddenly clocks in the fastest right here. There we go. Joseph Cabahog clocking the fastest. Look at that. Medyo nabulaga po si J.M. Alonso dun kanina. But of course, he's making way. Look at that. He's slicing every corner right here. Rand Berganya coming in second. Joseph Cabahog in first right here. There you go. This is what it is. Rand Berganya. J.M. Alonso now in second. Look at that. Wow, what did he did right there? J.M. Alonso, biglang nasa second na. Now he's closing in right here. This is going to be a, wow, good ending. We'll see. J.M. Alonso now charging. Joseph Cabahog holding on. Tingnan natin. This is the battle for second or first right here. As J.M. Alonso now, here we go on the stretch. Malonzo being coached right here on the inside. What a move right there. There we go. What a move right there by J.M. Malonzo. Now is on the lead right here. Malonzo looking good. Now for the rest of the pack, there we go. That is Berganya, Wenward Sena, David Chan, as Malonzo has taken back his race lead. Yeah. Grabe. The resiliency of J.M. Alonso right here. Cabahog looking good. There we go. That is the gap. That is a 0.879 gap right there. Joseph Cabahog. Let's see if he'll be able to take this back. Tingnan natin kung kayanin ba niya. But so far, the gap right there is that it is. So, Rand Berganya, medyo malayo, 2.10105 as J.M. Alonso. Oh, the gap is increasing right here, 0.825. Here we go. That is the gap right there. So far, so good for J.M. Malonzo. Here we go for the backstretch and onto the stretch right here. Let's see, tingnan natin yung gap nila. Oh, bumababa. Tingnan natin if Joseph Cabao will be able to make a move right here. But so far, so good. Oh, there is a body language right there for J.M. Alonso. It seems that he is having a hard time gripping the tires on that part of the corner. Let's see. Joseph Cabao making a move right here. Tingnan natin. But so far, so good for the rest of the pack. Ran Berganya coming in third right here. So far, Wenward Sena, David Chan, Francis Castaneda, Ken Basalo, Jens Aceda. So far, here we go. Look at that. That is a close call. Joseph Cabahog, let's see. He knows the racetrack very well. Tingnan natin, J.M. Alonso. I think he also knows this one, but not as familiar than Joseph Cabahog. Here we go. That is a 2-0-2-1 on the outside. Nothing there. Here we go. There is a bump right there. But that is racing incident. Wala po yun, just a bump. Here we go. Last lap of the race. This is it. Last lap of the race. Joseph Cabahog. The gap right here. There we go. That is the gap. On the inside, Joseph Cabahog. Nothing there. Wow, almost there for Joseph Cabahog. A few more corners to go. Let's see if Joseph Cabahog will be able to make a move right there. Here we go. On the backstretch. Will Joseph Cabahog make a move right here? Tingnan natin, J.M. Alonso, second win of the day. Wow. Grabe. Here we go. Ran Berganya coming in third right here. David Chan in fourth. Wenward Sena. Grabe. Wow. Yep, there we go. J.M. Alonso winning this one right here. Yeah, there we go. J.M. Alonso winning this one right here. So, congratulations. Second win, I think, for J.M. Alonso. So, Kent Basalo is currently on 7th. There you go. Francis Castaneda. Ran Berganya, David Chan. There you go. That completes our category classification. There you go. We will be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to your Super Series Nationwide Championships. This is round number 5, and we are looking at the Super Underbone 155 Open SP Divisional. So, it's a hot, very hot Sunday afternoon right here in Cebu City. So, yeah, it's really summer indeed. And of course, here we go. And we're looking at the Super Underbone 155 Open SP Divisional. And of course, JM Alonso. We all know that last time, JM Alonso was really onto it dun sa Panglao. No? So ngayon, it's going to be something. All right, just checking. I was so surprised to see Honda on the. Anyway, that is JM Alonso on board Honda Project M's bike. All right, here we go. We are scheduled for 10 laps of racing. There we go. Malonzo, Cabahog, Davis. Who will take first corner? Oh no, there's still a my good friend Bentley is here. Yeah, it's in the house. All right. So here we go. 10 laps of racing. So who will take first corner? This is just the warm-up session. There we go. JM Alonso. Rafael Davis, Joseph Cabahog. So, nandyan ulit yung dalawa. So, no love lost between the two right here. So, we saw them battling for position in the previous category. I think that was the category before this one. So, yun. Yeah, this is round number 2 of their competition between each other. All right, so this is round number 2 right here for Joseph Cabahog and JM Alonso. Here we go. Let's see. Tingnan po natin. Here we go. A good one right there for JM Alonso taking on first corner whole shot, followed by Joseph Cabahog. A good one right there. Rafael Davis right here is on third. This is good one right here. This is the opening stages of your Super Underbone 155 Divisional SP. There we go. That is JM Alonso. Look at the gap right there. Quickly established by JM Alonso and Joseph Cabahog. Let's see. This is round number 2. Sabi ni Mr. Labrador kanina, round number 2 of this battle. But look at that. Cabahog is closing in. Wow. This is interesting. Here we go. This is interesting right here as Joseph Cabahog now closing in on JM Alonso. Oh, a while ago, that was a forced 0.4 second. Now it's a 0.763 gap right there. Here we go. This is a battle right here. And of course, that is Rafael Davis and Fernando Corteza, Cham Ventura, and John Tonido. There we go. That is the gap right there. 0.763 right there. Now it's a 1 second gap right here. Oh, J.M. Alonso, very determined. Oh, but closing in once again. Okay, now it seems that Joseph Cabahog is always closing in after the stretch going into the double A. So, let's see. Tingnan natin, lumalapit si Joseph Cabahog. Now the gap, for sure, it's below 1 second. And there we go. Let's see, lumalapit si Joseph Cabahog during the double A. Not this time right here, but so far, so good. And that is a battle for third right there. That is Joseph Cabahog and Rafael Davis, or Rafael Davis and Fernando Corteza. And balik tayo kay Joseph Cabahog and J.M. Alonso. This is interesting as Joseph Cabahog seems to be finding ways to close the gap in some parts of the track. But some parts of the track, medyo nahihirapan siya. But of course, this is Rafael Davis and Fernando Corteza, two Cebuanos right here. J.M. Alonso and Joseph Cabahog with halfway mark right here. So 5 more laps or 4 more laps when they cross the start-finish line right here. Oh, there we go. 4 more laps to go in this race as the gap has increased right here. There we go. That is Fernando Corteza and Rafael Davis. Oh, look at that. Corteza, Andot is closing in on Rafael Davis right here. Oh, there's a small opening. Nothing there, but so far, so good. There we go. J.M. Alonso is not breaking away with 3 laps to go in this race. Is this not yet a 1 second? And there we go. Fernando Corteza and Rafael Davis. No changes right there. Closing in is Rafael Davis, Fernando Corteza. Andot on the inside, holding on to that. That is the last podium position for this category. Here we go with lap number 8. 2 laps to go in this race. Joseph Cabahog, Rafael Davis. There we go. Seems like breaking away po si J.M. Alonso right here. That is already a huge gap. So I think Joseph Cabahog has settled for the second position right here. But still, we're still looking at Fernando Corteza and Rafael Davis right here. There we go. J.M. Alonso breaking away. And for the win right here from Dodge Garage, this is win number 3 for J.M. Alonso. Here we go for the checkered flag on board Honda Project M's bike. There we go. Wow. What a win. Joseph Cabahog coming in second. Rafael Davis coming in third. There we go. There we go. J.M. Alonso winning this one for the third time this afternoon. Coming in second is Joseph Cabahog with a 2.805 gap from Alonso. Rafael Davis with a 1.564 gap from Joseph Cabahog coming in third. And the rest of the pack, Fernando Corteza the third, Caim Ventura and John Tonido, and of course our race winner for the third time. So quite a perfect one. Here we go. Third time right here, winning this one once again. There we go. J.M. Malonzo of Dad's Garage. Wow, congratulations, Carlo and the rest of Dad's Garage. Sir Roger Solis, congratulations. Perfect win for JM, a perfect weekend for JM Alonso. There you go. So, congratulations. And of course, we will be right back. right, here we go. We're scheduled for 12 laps of racing. Here we go. Of course, the cream of the crop. This is Super Underborn 155 Open GP. And once again, we are on board Masato Fernando right here. There we go. We are on board Masato Fernando right here. So here we go. So we're scheduled for 12 laps of racing right here. So ayun, tingnan natin if Masato Fernando will be able to deliver and take back what happened on the first category that he had. Here we go. All right, here we go. This is it. We're scheduled for 12 laps of racing. Good afternoon, everybody. And this is your Motul Grand Prix of Cebu. And of course, thank you so much, Motul. Maraming salamat po. Infiniteserv, thank you so much. And last race. There we go, a good one right there by Masato Fernando. But Kerwin Chang was able to grab that one right there. So here we go. As Masato Fernando, look at that. Kerwin Chang was able to grab. As always, Efraim Unahon right here. As Masato Fernando was slide down to third. So this is it. Wow. So medyo hindi na bantayan ni Masato Fernando no. But Kerwin Chang, Efraim Unahon, and of course that is Masato Fernando and Mario Bourbon. Wow, this is the opening stages as now, let's see, Masato Fernando making a move right there. So, Masato Fernando is currently on third right here. So, tingnan natin if he'll be able to grab that one from Efraim Unahon. Kerwin Chang looking good right here. Very strong for Kerwin Chang. There we go. Now, let's see the gap right here. Here we go. Chang breaking away with a 0.702. Masato Fernando, let's see if he'll be able to make a move right there from Efraim Unahon. Efraim Unahon looking on the inside as Masato Fernando. Now, there's a small opening right there. Now, the gap between Masato Fernando and Efraim Unahon, medyo maliit lang talaga ito. As Masato Fernando making a move right now, skidding the rear tires on that part of the track. Let's see. Here we go. Masato Fernando. No one is pressuring him right here. Medyo malayo si Mario Bourbon sa kanya. But let's see if he'll be able to close in the gap right here on Efraim Unahon. Unahon looking good as well. A strong second right here for Efraim Unahon. Kerwin Chang is breaking away. So I think he is trying to hold on to this one right here. But so far, Masato Fernando is holding on to this third position. There we go. Oh, si Efraim Unahon skidding some few parts of the corner right here. So tingnan natin if he'll be able to maintain this one. As Masato Fernando tries to make a move on the inside right there. Tingnan natin ito. But so far, so good. Masato Fernando, malapit na kay Efraim Unahon. That is the gap right there. That is a 0.093. Anything can happen right here. As Masato Fernando closing in right now on Efraim Unahon. There we go. Efraim Unahon skidding some parts of the track right there. Masato Fernando, let's say, no one's bothering him now on the outside. Here we go. This is a battle of the best in this category here in Cebu. And of course, both riders knows the racetrack very well, though both of them are not from here. But nevertheless, Kerwin Chang is breaking away right now. Here we go. There we go. No one's bothering Masato Fernando right now. So let's see if he'll be able to make a move on Efraim Unahon. Masato Fernando side by side right there. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Nasa likod na po si Efraim Unahon. Was able to grab that one right there. Now, Masato Fernando is on second, eyeing right here on Kerwin Chang. Medyo malayo na masyado si dito ngayon, no? So we can no longer see Efraim Unahon, but Masato Fernando is closing in right here on Kerwin Chang. There we go. There we go. Let's see, with 4 laps to go in this race, that is Efraim Unahon. So that is the gap right now. Wow, Kerwin Chang, 1.479 on the clock right here. There we go. Sato right here looking good. No one's bothering Masato right now. So there you go. That is the camera at the back of Masato. Wala pong... But he's closing in. 1.634. Tingnan natin if he can close in on here, right here. We have 2 laps to go in this race. 2 laps to go in this race. That is our race leader, Kerwin Chang, with a gap of 1.626. Will Masato be able to make it closer? I doubt right now, but still anything can happen. There we go, race leader Kerwin Chang. Here we go, Kerwin Chang now for the win. Masato Fernando coming in second. Efraim Unahon coming in third right here. Mario Borbon coming in fourth. There we go. That is the classification right now with 12 laps of racing. Nice one right there by Masato Fernando. There we go. On board Masato right now. So, wow. Wow, what a win right there for Kerwin Chang. So looking at the classification right here, Kerwin Chang, Masato Fernando, Efraim Unahon, and Mario Borbon right there. There we go, winner. Second win of race for the day. There you go, that is Kerwin Chang of KC99 Racing. All right, congratulations. There we go. That was it. Thank you so much, everybody. Maraming salamat po. And of course, in behalf of Inside Racing Alcamba, thank you so much, everybody, for making it possible. And congratulations to all the winners. And of course, on behalf of the men and women of the Racing Line TV, maraming salamat din po. And that's it for us. This is Motul Grand Prix of Cebu 1. We'll be coming right back. We'll be coming back here on August 23. So, babalik po kami ng August 23 for the last race for the Vismin Championship Series, Motul Super Series. Thank you so much, Motul Infiniteserv. Maraming salamat. And we'll see you on the next one. God bless everyone. Stay safe and have a safe drive home. If you are, wherever you are, stay safe, everybody. Thank you so much. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat.